right. Share your screen with your audience. Um, Hello. I think we're live on YouTube and later. Okay, cool. So we're live on YouTube and we're live on Instagram. What we're talking about today is how to shift into a parallel reality. Hi, Rock On! Hello, hello. Okay, I'm really excited about this because I was chilling. It's a Friday night. I literally just watched Murder Mystery 2 and I was like, damn, I wanna like talk. I wanna share something. And so here we are. Okay, so this is an impromptu live in how to shift into a parallel reality tonight. Okay, and the best part is that we are going to do a really, really incredible activation. No music. It's going to be a no music activation we're going to do together tonight. So all of y'all are going to shift into a parallel world tonight. Okay, so the not so good news is that because I'm streaming directly from Instagram and YouTube, I don't know how to figure out how I can take this shit to my whiteboard. But I have a notebook, and wherever I need to draw, I'm gonna draw for you guys. Okay. So we're gonna start with some things that are very basic. Okay. We're going to start with understanding how realities work to begin with. Okay, because and let me tell you why. Also, let me tell you guys why this is so important, because so many times I've heard people come up to me and go like, Anna, like I know that I want to manifest this thing, I want to manifest that thing, and I know it's like it's I'm just gonna like assume it's mine or whatever. But the reason that so many people get nerfed when it comes to manifesting shit is because you don't, when you're manifesting from the same level of consciousness that created the current reality where you don't have it, then everything in your past, wow, you guys can see my bed, but everything from your past literally follows you. Okay, it gets in your way, you get in your own fucking head all the time. Okay, and that's why people are always like, you gotta start somewhere, you gotta be realistic somehow, like I've never done this before. Well, you might not have, but today is about realizing that just by you giving yourself a whole new fucking identity, just by shifting into a parallel world where you have always been that person that's always got it going on like that, you can shift like this. And it's so effortless. It's absolutely insane how easy it is. Okay. So let's get to this. Okay. Here's what I want you all to understand. Let's see. Okay. So you all can see this, right? Okay, perfect. Now, this is, please excuse my extremely incredible artwork. Okay. This is, let's say, you. Okay. Now, this is you over here, too. This is you. And this is like your human body. All right. But you are the awareness that's outside of the body. Okay, you are the awareness that is aware of your human body. You are the awareness that is aware of your thoughts, the fact that you have a body. Like if I tell you right now, do you like, this hand, right? When you look at your hand, do you go like I am hand, or do you go like I have a hand? Right, you take ownership of everything in your reality. You're not gonna say I am eyes, right? You're gonna be like I have eyes, I have a nose, I have whatever, everything in your reality that you own, that you possess, whatever in the 3D, that's not even reality, but we'll call it that, is something that you are aware of possessing. Okay, in fact, you won't even find yourself saying I am thoughts, right? You're not your thoughts, because you go like I have a thought. You're never going to be like I am anxiety, I am depression, I am sadness, I unless you're being, obviously funny, but you're never going to say that shit, right? You're always going to talk about yourself in terms of like I'm aware that I feel sad, I'm aware that I'm thinking a certain thing, I'm aware whatever. So there's someone or something which is aware of all of these things, right? If I tell you all to close your eyes right now and I tell you to like just go within, okay? And I want you to like in your mind, I want you to bring up the picture of a pink elephant. All right? Now I want you to make that elephant green. Now you, as an awareness, wait. Oh, okay. This guy. Okay, I am trying to. Okay, okay. The awareness is the one that was aware of the pink elephant or the green elephant or whatever else. Okay, so there is someone that is beyond the thoughts, beyond the name, beyond the identity, beyond the story of, I grew up in this house and I grew up with this name and I grew up with these parents and I've had these experiences and all of that in between. That has always just been silently watching behind it all. And the key to shifting to a parallel world, right, is to go all the way back to the seat of awareness, consciousness. Because consciousness is the entity, okay? Consciousness is that part of you that whatever consciousness becomes aware of is what is made to be aware to the consciousness, okay? Whatever consciousness can become aware of, that thing is now visible. It goes from the unseen to the seen. Now, I'm going to give you guys a metaphor first, okay? To understand how reality actually works, all right? So I want you to look at this box over here. Wait, everyone can see it? Yeah. Now, imagine inside this grid, okay, there's A, B, C, D, E, F, GHI. Okay. And take that and like multiply it to infinity. Okay. Imagine these are all these boxes. Okay. And now each box, all right, each box has its own, charge, its own frequency, its own whatever. You guys can see this? Okay, perfect. Now, what I want you to realize is that at any given moment, because we know that creation is finished. Okay, creation is finished, so we know that all of these letters right now in the fucking hell in the present moment, all of these, Jesus Christ, okay, in the present moment, all these alphabets exist here and now. Okay, so if you as consciousness are aware, let's say you're blinking in awareness to the letter A. Okay. Hey, girl, to the letter A. Okay. Now you're aware of A. Now, just because you're aware of A, all right. Yeah. Just because you're aware of A doesn't mean that all of these don't exist. Okay. But what happens is all these other realities are just unseen to you. Okay. They're no longer seen and they're no longer available to you. All right. Very funny, but give me a second. My dad is calling me. Okay, we gotta take that call. Hello? Okay. That's okay. We're gonna need one more second. That's so funny. When parents call, you pick up. All right. Hello? Check your WhatsApp. Okay, we're done. Now, just because what you're aware of is reality, okay, A, doesn't mean that the other realities don't exist. The mirror image is really fucking getting to me, guys. Okay, doesn't mean they all exist at the same time, but your consciousness is collapsed on A. What does that mean? That means that everything you've ever wanted, everything you will ever want, every desire, everything under the sun is already created. Khalas. There's no such thing as you're not birthing anything into existence. You're simply becoming aware of a different alphabet that already exists. Okay, you're simply becoming aware of a different alphabet that already exists. So right now your current reality has been vibrating at the frequency of alphabet what? A. Okay, so when we talk about shifting into a parallel reality, what does that truly mean? It means that instead of A, you become aware of like H or wherever else in this, alphabet fucking quantum game it exists. All right. Now, you might go like, well, okay, I get the theoretical part of that shit, but like, what do you mean practically, right? What I, sorry. Okay. So now, this is consciousness in the middle. Okay. And at every given moment, you have the opportunity, the capacity to go into literally shift into a different timeline like this. Every moment. Like, I don't mean like, there's only 12 a.m. at midnight when time travel is allowed, or like, 11:59 p.m. to 1 a.m. That's the only time when quantum doors are open. Any moment you can be like, you know what, I don't vibe with this reality, I want to go into a different one. What do I do? All right, if you're on Insta, you want to come on YouTube, go ahead. Now here's all you not need to do. Now all these alphabets, A, B, C, D, these are all directions that your awareness can expand into in every moment. So every moment you can shift into a different reality where everything has always been different. How can I be aware that the way that shifts not only daydream or think, oh hell yeah, that's it, like literally what I'm here to teach you. Like, I got you. Okay, so oh my god, what was I saying? Okay, so it's like, it's about in any moment you shift your awareness to another alphabet. And how we do that is by realizing that every alphabet has its own past, its own present, its own future. Meaning that now the difference between manifesting and actually a total, leap into a parallel reality, the biggest difference is that you don't take your BS with you to a different parallel world. Literally, like a lot of y'all be like, you're gonna have like whack ass self concepts, and like you think terrible things about yourself. You, in your mind, you're a bloody loser. Okay, but then like you're like, oh, I want to manifest like $20,000, but then you literally do not believe that you're worthy of money. Okay, and this is the part where a lot of people go like, okay, well, I need to do hella shadow work and this work and that work, and that is incredible. Like, I am so with it in terms of you guys like doing the work and everything, but at some point you need to realize that like the work is a one, like, it's like a one-time investment. Every time you want to shift into a parallel reality, like, okay, khalas, you do it once, you're good. You don't have to continue to do the work all the time. You literally don't. And this is where it's like, you need to stop thinking that well, Anna, before I can actually have it, I think I need to heal more. No, you don't. Okay, and I know for a fact that like 90% of the people that are, that come to my channel, my shit, you guys have done the work. I need you to trust you've done the work. Okay, so now it's literally about taking that work that you've done and actually using it. Okay, like, that in itself, like that form of I'm doing the work, it becomes avoidance. Okay, we are not here to be avoidance baddies. Okay, we are here to shift, collapse into a different timeline and see everything move this fast. Because look, listen, when you order something from Amazon, okay, when you order, let's say, a freaking French press, okay, you order a French press, you're not going to be sitting there thinking, oh, like, I just ordered a French press, now they got to invent that shit first. They gotta invent it, then they gotta, like, build it up, and then maybe, like, so I gotta wait a long time. That French press already exists in their little factory. Okay, so if it already exists in their factory, their only reason it's not in your own house right now is why, because you were tuned to channel number A, where you don't have the French press, ma'am. So if you don't have the French press on channel number A, what do? You order a French press. And then you, if you're an overachiever like me, and I know you all are, you're going to be like, actually, I would like prime delivery same day. If I ordered it right now, I want it 9 p.m., you know? And so you get it the same day, right? But you don't sit there thinking like, whoa, they're gonna like, damn, you know, I don't know, like Newton or Edison gotta come at it again, invent some new shit. No. So just like that, your desires already have been created. Okay, like I don't think I can stress this enough, because I need you to get this shit. Like, this is the most important part of this, that it is already a factual, real truth. It already exists. Okay, so if it already exists, the only thing you need to do, the only reason you're not seeing it, is because you're on channel A and it exists on channel, well, F. And if you've seen Supergirl or Flash, or any of these series, okay, you're gonna know that they have like this concept of like these portals, right? These portals, where there was this one episode in Supergirl where the Flash, they open up this little portal, and the Flash pops in, and she's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I'm from Earth X," or whatever the fuck that name was, right? He's from a different Earth, which looks almost like pretty much the same as that Earth, but it's different, right? It's the same, but it's different. That's how parallel realities work. Okay, they're pretty much the same, but they're different. Okay, they're pretty much the same, but like the circumstances have always been different, and it gives you the easiest way to like slip into a different identity without like years and years of being stuck doing like inner child work. So now, any given moment, you have the advantage of time. Okay, because there's literally only the present moment. There is no such thing as time. That's a man-made construct. So now, in this now, all of these guys exist. And from this now, through your awareness, you just become aware of any alphabet in the matrix, in the quantum world. And that alphabet and the contents of that alphabet become then visible to your 3D. Okay? Your eyes over here. Does that make sense? Like, are y'all with me? Like, does that make sense? Give me like a one in the chat if that makes sense. Because, like, I need to know you're following me so far. Also, I need to drink water, so that's a good excuse. Okay, period. All right, amazers. Now, let's continue, okay? When you choose a new reality quickly, be prepared that some things will be different. I change so rapidly. There are a lot of Mandela type effects that I haven't heard anyone else. Oh, that is such a big thing, by the way. Like when you quantum leap, it's like when you really fully instantly shift, which y'all are doing tonight. It's like you wake up and it's like it's the same, but you see so many almost like strange things. You're like, wait a minute, who are you? So hell yeah. Okay. Now, what I mean by expanding in a specific direction, in a specific frequency, is pretty much this. Okay. Now you're in this. Oh my God. I really wish I had my whiteboard. I mean, I do. Anyways, now you're in this middle. Now, let's say, give me a desire someone has. Okay. Let's say someone has a desire for money. Okay. This is one of the most common ones I get: money and love. Okay. Like everyone's like, Anna, can I have more money? How do I have more money? How do I get more love? How do I get more bitches? So it's like, let's use that as a great example. All right. Now, in this, let's call this reality X. Okay. Reality X, you've got the money and you've got the love and whatever else you want. Okay. The difference now, anytime, let me give you some perspective, right? And you already know this too, right? Anytime, anything that is currently but okay, perfect. You want to shift where you have telekinesis, girl? Vibes. You're gonna do that tonight. Here's the thing. Anything, the meaning of manifestation, literally, to me, it's as simple as anything that doesn't make you lose your fucking mind is what will be easy for you to perceive in the 3D, and that's manifestation. Because we're always manifesting, we are literally walking talking manifestors, right? Like manifestation, yes, like it's been turned into this process or whatever, but literally it's all about, like, your awareness becoming aware of certain truths, of certain assumptions, of certain whatever else in your reality. And that's what gets materialized externally. Okay, whatever consciousness becomes aware of is what it is made to be aware of through its senses. Okay, so whatever you become aware of, and the thing is that a lot of times these, and all the time, these awarenesses that we have, they're autopilot. Okay, so we picked up when we were like, when we dropped down to earth, we became aware of things that we picked up from our parents, from our society. People said money doesn't grow on trees. You were like, bet, if you say so. But think about it this way, right? Someone who grew up with wealth being such a normal thing, someone who grew up seeing healthy loving relationships. I'll give you guys a very fun example. I was talking to one of my best friends the other day, and she was talking about how in her childhood, like, she's like, oh, we never got yelled at, or like our parents never like beat us up or like yelled at us, or like, and everyone talked about their feelings. Okay. Like, she just dropped that so casually. She's like, yeah, like, of course we talk about our feelings. And I was like, girl, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, you and your family, like, you guys talk about your feelings? Like, that was like, that blew my mind, right? But for her, it was such a normal thing. It was like anyone who grows up with a healthy love type relationship, um for them, that's normal, right? So whatever our behaviors are in the current reality, okay, those behaviors are determined by our bar of normal. Okay, your bar of normal consists of the things, your lived experiences, your internalized truths. Even if those are BS and you consciously know that, you're just like, no. I mean, I know money's that easy to make, but it's like your body doesn't believe it because it lives in the nervous system. So, and this is why people go on healing journeys. So then, to manifest any reality, to materialize any reality, what do we need to really do? At the core of it, the only thing that you really need to do is to make that reality feel in your body and being like a pretty normal little truth. Okay, like that, like it's so casual, like obvious, like an obvious knowing, just like you obviously know this current reality. Like when you wake up and I ask you to tell me 5 things that are wrong with your life right now, I'm pretty sure you can come up with it. 5 problems you're stressed about, you're gonna be like, yeah, let me tell you, I'll give you 10, I'll do you one better. Like it is every, like, 5 people that you have beef with, or 5 memories that hurt you, or five, like, if I ask you these type of questions, it will be on your fingertips. You're gonna be like, I can tell you in grade 5 that bitch said that to me, and since then I vowed that I will always hate a Susan. I don't hate Susans, I love Susans, whatever. But you get my point, is that there are certain things, certain experiences that are so lived within the body, within the nervous system, that it's like, it's such an obvious little truth that you could like tell that shit in your sleep. So then, to shift into a parallel reality, what does that mean? It means that you literally shift your state of obviousness to a new identity. Okay. And when I say new identity, a lot of times, and I used to actually do it the other way, where a lot of times I used to talk about identity work from your current self. Okay. But I think I've actually, not even I think, I've experienced this, that the most powerful thing to do, and this is what all of you are doing today, okay, is to shift to a completely different identity from a different state of consciousness on a different earth who's always lived a different life. Okay. And I mean, like, always lived a different life. So you got like a new past, you got a different, like, it's like you got a different everything. Okay. So you literally rewrite your childhood experiences to be what you wanted them to be. You literally, like, create memories of those things that you think you want outside of you in the future, whatever. If you missed the start, this will also be uploaded on Instagram, but also on YouTube. You can join there as well. Give your recent personal little truth. Ooh, I forgot what I meant by little truth. When did I say little truth? I forgot the context. Okay. But here's, like, coming back to this right now, what I want you to get, I fully lost my train of thought, but we're going to create a fully new reality. If it feels exciting, is that good or bad? Oh, that, like, that's neutral, because that excitement, like, the more you rehearse it, the more you normalize it in your system, that excitement will actually die and it will just be normal. Because, like, there are things in my reality, and I give this stuff, like, give this example so many times, and I'm sure you can all relate to. There are things in our reality right now that were so exciting at some point, okay, when we hadn't had it. But now that it's like such an, so for example, for me to do a retreat in Bali, right, like a year ago, that would have been like, holy shit, what, I'm doing a retreat in Bali and it's just me and it's my retreat, I'm not collaborating with a million coaches that would have like literally broken my brain, right? But in this reality, in this timeline, it's so natural. I'm just like, yeah, and what about it, right? And that's the state you gotta come to around. Oh my god, hi Cav. You gotta come to a and what about it state about everything. Okay, and I'm gonna walk you through this step by step as well. I have children and feel my attachment to them keeps me stuck, even though I know they will have a much better experience in the reality I'm creating. That, like that feeling that you said, that you feel like your attachment to them keeps you stuck, that is also a quantum choice. It's some assumption that the current version of you made, that, oh, like, my attachment to my kids makes me feel stuck. But it's like shifting to a parallel reality means that everything can be different. Your attachment to them could be in that reality, it can be the very thing that literally fuels you. Okay, like, my children and I, we have the greatest freaking relationship, da, 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 like, it's literally like you take a new bank of a whole new person, like, literally, like, a whole new person with a whole different, like, every person. Okay, we all, let's all collectively agree to one thing, right? And I'm pretty sure we all can, that we all have had completely different lived experiences, correct? We've all had them. We've, like, my life has been completely different from your life and 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 your life, everyone, right? So we've all had different lives. And so we all have different assumptions and expectations and everything in between, right? And knowings about how the world works. And I say this every single time, all day long, is that your reality is as unique to you as your fingerprint, right? It is as unique to you as your fingerprint, meaning that if this current life is a result of all the assumptions and all the knowings and all the everything in between, to shift in a parallel world means that if you want to have a different experience of life, you just become aware of a different alphabet. And that reality already exists, you're just traveling into it. Okay, and we don't, here's some core parts of it. Okay, is that I need you to understand that you need to literally divorce the waiting game. Okay, I see so many of y'all go like, I'm just waiting for things to happen, Anna. Like, I feel like I'm waiting for something. Like, you people sit around and be like, okay, one of my best friends, Rouge, okay, freaking love that girl, but big waiter. Okay, I was talking to her yesterday, and she goes like, Anna, like, I just every day I wake up and I go like, what would billionaire Rue do? I'm like, babes, like you are literally putting her on on a pedestal, and B, you're saying that she's someone whose steps you gotta predict. It's like waking up and going like, what would Taylor Swift do today? Or like, like someone like that homegirl doesn't wake up and go like, well, what Taylor Swift? She just like is. You get what I mean? You are not here to predict and wait for some future self. That's not what we're doing here. I need you to fully land this shit. Is that what we're not doing? Is we're saying that she's your higher self, your future self, your better self, your new self, your blah self. No, it's just a different frequency, on a different reality. Khalas, that's it. That's simple. Just a different vibe. Okay? She's just lived a different reality. And so I'm just slipping into her world and assuming her identity. The current version of you, okay? The current version of you, that version is also on one frequency of a reality that is parallel to some other version of you. There is no old new versions, okay? They're just different versions, okay? When we say my old self, what you're doing is you're still creating an association between you, as in currently who you don't want to be in, whose world you don't vibe with, and the world that you do want to be in. And here's the thing, like language is so important. Like I can't say this enough, is how important language is. How important it is to be so aware of the way that you phrase even your thoughts. Because if you're constantly thinking my old version this, my old this, my what are you're literally like subconsciously impressing a little bit of grief there, a little bit of attachment there, sprinkling a little bit of like my old self. No, I am so neutral about this stuff that I am aware of the fact that on a different reality, on a different frequency, there is a version of Anna who never went for it, who just stayed fucking stuck. Like who she that girl, she's still healing, and she'll probably heal for the next who knows how many years. I'm not her. I've always lived different. And so you'll realize that doing this distance, okay, where it's not good or bad, because energetic charge, whether it's good or it's bad, is useless. It's we don't need it. Halas. So what is needed is neutrality, because the entire world works on neutrality. So if you give anything a little bit more meaning, or a little, giving it more meaning or less meaning or whatever, less meaning, though, that's neutrality, but more meaning, that's usually what people do, right? My old self, I just went back to my old self. No, you didn't, babes. Like, she's on a different world. Okay? Does that make sense? A little to new reality to change the state, shifting to so any personal example of you other than how can I quantum leap to a recreated version of a specific person and persist in that? To a recreate. We're gonna get to that. Okay, so now here's what we the big truths that we've covered so far, right? You don't wait, you're simply deciding and choosing. Okay, it's like a multiverse. All right, and it's very responsive. Stop thinking that God is on the same response time as your ex-boyfriend. He's not. God responds like this. Okay, stop thinking that I gotta wait for like five days minimum. Okay, so I put in my request on a Saturday, business hours open, Monday 9 a.m. God is not a business. Okay, 24/7, all the freaking time, instant responses. Every reality already exists. You're simply choosing, and God instantly responds. Like it's so fast. It's like, it's as fast as you blink. Like literally, it's that fast. But when you're waiting, you're staying in the same reality, and you're just prolonging it. You're just like, deluding yourself, thinking, nah, simply choose collapse. Choose collapse. Choose collapse. Say it out loud. I can't hear you, but I can feel you. Okay. Some of y'all are not saying it out loud. Choose collapse. Okay. We are simply collapsing time, collecting outcomes, collapsing realities, collecting outcomes, collapsing dimensions. Choose collapse, period. Now we're talking. If I could give you a star, I would give you a star, man. Hell yeah. Now, this is the second part of it. Okay, second part is you need to get that there is such a big difference between moving from the state versus towards the state. Okay, and this is the biggest place where people nerf themselves. Okay, because they think that they, even though they're theoretically doing all this quantum jumping and timeline and multiverse and Spider-Man shit, but they're like, well, I'm walking towards it, I'm working towards it, I'm moving to. No, you're not. If you're going towards it, you're not it. If you either are it or you're not it. You either are it or you're not it. There is no I'm becoming this. Like, I need y'all to drop this word becoming from your dictionary, literally, because this word becoming is what gets you like nerfed. If you're always becoming, when will you be? When will you finally be? When will you actually have it? When will you actually experience it? If you're always just in the becoming. And so many like manifestation people talk about this, right? When you're becoming this, nah, you're not becoming nothing. Okay? You already are it. You already are it. So you need to stop acting like you want this thing, because to say you want is to affirm you don't have. Every time you say, well, I want this thing, I want this skill, I want this, it's like remembering. When you remember something, it's instant. It's like if I ask you, hey Crystal, what's your name, and you're like, you're not going to do that. You're going to be like, girl, it's right there, it's Crystal, it's Crystal. You know what I mean? So it's like you know it like you know your name. You know it like you know your name. And so all there is to do, and here's the thing, okay? And this is my biggest tip that I will give you. Even if in the beginning you spend more time in your inner world than you do in your outer world, that is better for you than to like just rush through this, like just to like whatever, and then just to speed up to the external world, because you're still getting your hit from the external world. You need to realize that every time that you associate your worthiness, you associate your state of being, your state of feeling, your state of whatever to the external world, what you've done is you've made that your God. And you see separation from God, right? That sin is separation from God, right? Sin is when we forget that we literally have this access to God Almighty, who's got us, like, really all the time. He's got your back. Everything he shifts for you instantly. And so when your reliance becomes on the 3D, when your emotional state, your state of being, your state of feeling, your state of everything like fluctuates, your heart drops because you just looked at your bank app and you're like, oh my God, I don't have money, Anna. Or like, you're laying in bed and you're like, Anna, I don't have a boyfriend. Or I really want to get married, or this problem or that problem or whatever else. And you're allowing yourself to be worked up over something that is not even real, because the 3D world is what? It is an illusion. So when you let the illusion get to you, you've made the illusion your God. That's when you're separate. So the biggest advice, the biggest key is be cocky. I know people in the beginning, a lot of times when I work with them, they feel very uncomfortable about this thing. They feel very uncomfortable about like, how can I just be cocky, Anna? Like that just feels wrong. How can I say that? How can I this that? How can I that? But it only feels wrong because it feels unfamiliar. If you actually were raised in a house where those are truths that you were just told by your parents, where you were just raised to believe that you were the freaking goat, where you were raised to believe that you're the most brilliant human alive, you're the smartest person alive, you're this, you're that, you're the shit, then then it wouldn't feel cocky. Then you'd be like, well, yeah, like I just know that. I grew up knowing that. It's only cocky because you think that your false sense of humility gives you some sort of badge of honor. It doesn't. Drop that shit. Because when you are actually deciding that in this timeline, I've always been the most iconic, legendary, freaking brilliant person ever. In this timeline, I've always had it easy. In this timeline, everything has always worked out for me. You're not saying because I'm the doer. You're saying because I'm so surrendered in this timeline that God makes everything happen for me instantly. And to actually not have a high God concept, to actually not believe that God has, like, is God has rigged the world in your favor, that is actually arrogance. That's arrogance. Because how dare you think God hasn't? How dare you think so little of God? How dare you limit God to human limitations? To be cocky is to be godly. To be cocky is to actually know the unlimited nature of God. You think Moses was standing in front of the sea with his, like his staff? His brother Aaron was like, yo, should we check out another way? He was like, just watch. I know God. He struck it. You think he was out there thinking, oh my God, am I being arrogant? Because like 5,000 people, they're looking at me. Hey, God, are you going to come through? No. There's a godfidence to it. There's a knowing. I don't care. God's got me. You think Ibrahim alayhi salam, like when he was thrown into the fire, the angel Jibril came to him. He said, yo, say the word. I'm going to tell the fire to cool. He said, did you come from your own accord or did God send you? He's like, my own accord, bro. I love you. And he goes like, no, my God is sufficient for me. Would you call that cocky? Because that's that, people would say, oh my God, that's so arrogant. How would you know God's going to come through for you? That's the point. You're supposed to know. All of life is you are supposed to know that nothing is off the table. Nothing is too delusional. Nothing is too big because you're asking and your trust falling into God. And to ever think that you have to minimize your dreams, your desires, your anything, you have to be realistic is to be arrogant. Because then you're thinking that you're the one controlling. Then you're thinking that you're the doer. You are not, sir. With no due respect, you're not doing shit except using your free will to shift into a timeline where it's already done. So then when you can internalize this level of cockiness and be so okay with it, because you know that all your power subsists through God and that God is making it all happen. It's like, okay, watch this shit shift instantly. You don't trip over anything in the external reality because you know the one who's got your back, yeah. No one can mess with that. No power or might greater than God. So all you have to do is allow yourself to enter a different world, accept that to be true, and you're simply expanding your consciousness to a different world. You are here. The third part of this, okay, I don't know why I said third because I've said like a million parts. I don't know who's keeping track. Okay, God. But another really important part, embody the frequency, not the form. Okay, this is very important. Embody the frequency, not the form. What does that mean? Feelings are like your steering wheel, not your circumstances. So when we say Okay, now like we've entered a new world, all right? New reality, you just shifted and you're like, you know what? I've actually always been a millionaire in this world. I grew up iconic. I grew blah blah. You know, you got your whole backstory going on, okay? And now you just said it, okay? Like it's been like 2 minutes, and then you're like, "Oh, let me check my bank app." You rush to check the 3D, and unless you get over that urge to jump to check the 3D, your heart is not surrendered. You don't trust God. Because something like, for example, when you wake up, do you actually like, freak out thinking, oh my God, do I have a name? Does anyone know if I have a name? No, right? Or do you wake up and go like, holy, wait, do I have a bed? Do I have a nose? You don't freak up out about things that you know are a normal part of your world. And so just like that, when you shift into a new dimension, a different dimension, what you like, your job is to like literally memorize that shit so deep that there's no cell in your body that has any type of urge to go and check anything, because you're so surrendered. Like it is so normal to you that you don't need to constantly go and see. It's like, for example, when you place an order on Amazon, okay, you're not constantly going like, did you guys get my order? Hello Amazon, did you get my order yet? Did you get my order yet? You don't do that, because you just know I placed the order, it's arriving. And to a metaphor that I use for myself. And I love this metaphor to like, give my, if for example, you've done like hella collapsing, okay, now you're in a different reality, okay, and something from the 3D pops up that is the opposite of that reality, for example. So how do you respond to that? All right. That's the biggest question I get as well. How do I respond when things are not, like fly like a G6, Anna? Here's what you do. You come to the awareness that, think about it like shifting to a different house. All right. When you're shifting houses, what happens? You pack your furniture, you pack everything, you pack your shit basically, and now you've moved to a new house, and over the next few days your stuff keeps arriving, right? So it's like, when for example, when we moved to this house, it took like I think almost a week for everything to finally come here. Think about it like that, like your 3D is that new house, and you've ordered all this new furniture, and things are just dropping, the delivery's catching up, the furniture is catching up, but you're already in the new house. Even if there's no table, you just got a cup of coffee and that's it. So what? The orders have been placed, you've bought the things, now they're just being delivered. But you don't trip up over it. You don't go like walking around like, oh my God, no furniture in this place, will I ever have furniture? You will. Chill, dog. Like that's a different world. Like shit's just catching up. It's normal. It's okay. Chill. Go to the beach. I don't care. But like frequency comes before form, not after. So if you're still relying on the external world to tell you who you are, to tell you that you've shifted, to tell you, and you're constantly like, is this a sign? Is this a sign? Is this a sign? You don't trust God. You don't trust yourself. And if you don't trust nobody, you think reality trusts you when you say, I've arrived in a new timeline, ladies and gentlemen? It's going to be like, sure you have, bro. You don't look like it. That's the daydreaming part. So then, next point, and this is something I've already covered as well, but it's very important to neutralize the old timeline. Okay, you are not here to play judge on another timeline of yours. So you're not going to be sitting there thinking, damn, I was an ugly loser 5 minutes ago, but now I have arrived in a new world. My old self, she was a loser. No. Okay, like as in like you feel nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. You feel nothing about them. It's not old, it's not this, it's just that's the different version. You don't drag that different reality into your new parallel world. Be like, okay, that timeline is over. I'm in a new one, and over here, it's always been good. It's always been different. It's always been magical. Let go of like this idea of, oh my God, I've been in a new world for 3 days, and like, where is everything? Like, stop tracking it. You know what I mean? Like literally, like, just stop treating it like this is something you're trying out. It just is. It just is. And now just go live it without thinking like, I'll try, I guess. I'll see if it works. If you're in that, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Now, coming to the practical bit of this, okay? Now, application. That was all context. How do you do this? And how do you do this in a way that you stay in that world, ladies and gentlemen, and cats and dogs? Because Rocco has a dog. Anyways, you first, the activation that we're going to do, this is a meditation, okay? And you can literally do this every day if you want, okay? Or any other meditation, that's up to you. But the purpose, here's the difference, okay? What I want you to know, that the intention of you doing the activation, you doing the meditation, is not, ooh, I'm gonna get in this meditation and I will, like, make something happen in my world. Manifestation, quantum leaping, is not about getting something, it is about becoming someone else, becoming a different frequency. It's not about getting shit, because you can get a thing and you can lose the thing. Boo freaking who? But when you are like, it's like, if kun fayakun, halas. If it's like, if you can get money, and if money is what makes you go like, oh my God, I have so much money, and so then I feel wealthy, but then you lose the money and you're like, damn, like I don't have money. But so instead of thinking I want to get money, you become money. I am money itself. That's like that type of self concept is what I need y'all to have, is that you are not, will this live video be up on YouTube forever? No, it won't be. I'm joking, it will be. I got you. But that's why I said you can always come back to the activation, okay? Because it's gonna stay there. Watch it, take notes, watch it, go watch it again if you have to, if you want to imprint this shit. But you really need to get this, right? Is that stop trying to do things to get things. Like, please stop trying or thinking that I need to learn a new manifestation method so I can get this thing. No, just be it. Become become the desire of your desires. Become the desire of your desires. Your heart, have it so deeply connected to God, in the knowing of God, that you just know that all these desires, they want me. They chase me. Becoming that, or you are, or you have. Meaning that becoming that, as in like becoming the frequency of whatever it is that you want. Instead of thinking I want to get it, I am that person who is it. I already am. It's the difference between I am and I want. Okay. The second part of so I'll tell you practically what to do in terms of writing shit down. Okay. But before that, what I also need you to understand is that a huge important part of this is repetition. Repetition. Okay. Because your brain is what? It's a record of the past. Okay. It's a record of the past. And so Now let's say right now today you have like amazing experience, you do the activation, you feel pretty like worked up and everything, okay, and you're like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm in a different parallel reality. I know how things work around here, I know it all, da 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 da. But then, but then 3 days later, you don't rehearse this, you don't repeat it, you don't do nothing about it, you just keep going like, mindlessly, like a headless chicken through, like the 3D. So of course the 3D is going to get to you, because that's why as Muslims, for example, we pray 5 times a day. Why? Because 5 times God is like, y'all need to be dunked back into truth. That's like think about it. You wake up, the first thing you do is pray before you go to the world, before you touch the world, before you talk to the world, you pray. Okay, now noon, little afternoon, midday, you forgot again. Maybe you forgot again. Maybe something happened. You forgot who's the doer. Come back and pray. Then a couple of hours, it's like even God knows that these guys forget. So we gotta like have a repetition of this throughout your day, because unless your own truth and your knowing of God is louder in your mind, body, heart, the 3D is literally like, it is literally like sitting there to grab your attention. Sitting there thinking, "Oh, how will I knock this one out of balance?" And if you're not aware, if you're not protective of your inner world, what happens? You get lost. You got caught up. You watch a video, someone says, like someone says something about moon being in Gatorade, and next thing you know, you were texting me saying, Anna, like, does that affect my manifestation? Stop watching and consuming and eating more manifestation rituals and actually do the work. Like if you even just spend that time in your inner world with God, it's going to shift like literally in less than 7 days. But a lot of people, like, they get their little dopamine hit from like consuming more. Some star girl post about like, this manifestation have changed my life, and you're like, damn, okay, the last 500 didn't work, but she probably got something different. She doesn't, you know she doesn't. She's just telling you to write a letter, sleep on the letter, spit on the letter, do whatever. Like, stop. You guys, like, what are you doing? Stop. So now, okay, now, here's what you need practically in terms of writing. Here's what you all are going to write today. Not right now, because we're not on Zoom. So, like, it's just not, the vibe ain't there. Like, where I give you guys a question and I let you do your thing. But here's what I want you all to do today, okay? You are going to literally, you're going to come up with, firstly, look at what is the quantum reality that you want to be in, okay? And yes, I said want to be in to make a point. What is that reality that you're like, yes, this is the world that I would live in? Who are you in that world? Who are you? What's your relationship with God? What type of relationships in general do you have? What is the state of your being? What is the state of your heart? How much money do you make? Like, what are the things, the truths of that reality? Okay, you get the first bit is you describe it. Okay, so you describe it like you're describing, think about it like this. Okay, you're a reporter and someone told you to go follow this person around and, like, write down their day to day, or like write down what is up in their life. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do, become aware become aware of what is that parallel reality. Okay, so over here, become aware of your different alphabet. Okay, so if you're on A, become aware of what E is like. Okay, now when you've become aware of what E is like, right? Now, just like your current self or your current timeline is a, like a continuation almost of who you were being all these years of the past memories you have, of experiences you've had, of the type of relationships you had. So, for example, this is an example I gave someone today. I was like, if you have, like, if you're thinking about your relationships from the lens of, like, you've always dated, like, 2 out of 10 men. Okay. So if a 5 out of 10 guy comes in your reality, you lose your shit over it. You're like, oh my God, 5 out of 10. I've always dated 2 out of 10. So, like, that seems like a good upgrade. You know what I mean? But it's like, if in a parallel reality, every man you've ever dated has always been like an 11 out of 10. You've always had relationships with absolute freaking kings or queens if you're a man, right? Or, you grew up seeing both of your parents in an incredibly loving, healthy relationship. You need to recognize that this is not about being factually correct, because no memories are factually correct. It's all over here. All your past is over here. You can only access it in the now through your own mind. So, in a different parallel reality, have a different backstory. Literally, like, create different memories, like write down different scripts of, like, I remember growing up, XYZ happened. That all, like, almost like supercharge your knowing of your circumstances in that reality. It's like the foundation that makes what you're living in that reality to be very normal to you. So, for example, you want a really cool relationship. So you're like, okay, well, in a parallel reality, I'm married to this incredible man, woman, whatever. So then it's like, well, what has stopped you in this reality from having an incredible relationship? Well, Anna, a lot of times I get into relationships and, like, I nerf myself because I have a hard time being vulnerable, or like I have trust issues, or I fear that, all good men are gone, or all women are cheaters, whatever junk that you've got in your field. So what you do is you go like, okay, well, if it's very normal for me, so it's not a big deal that, oh my God, I'm in this incredible it's so normal, because obviously, why not? That means that all my life I've had beliefs and knowings and experiences that about relationships, that they've always been good. Let's talk about money instead. A lot of people go like, they grew up in, maybe you didn't grow up in poverty, but maybe your parents were always stressed about bills. Maybe they gave you, like, you adopted, internalized this belief system from them that, like, okay, when bill comes, stress increases, right? When you have to pay someone, or when you have to take on a responsibility, it makes you feel bad. Whatever correlation you got between any different things from your parents that you observe from your world, where maybe you saw it from friends, maybe that, people meet up with their friends and go like, the job market is so bad. Of course it's going to be bad, brother. You're literally like, you are the reason it's bad for you. You know what I mean? Like, y'all need to stop being victims and actually remember that God gave you the free will to command your reality. Even in Surah Mulk, verse 15, I believe, it says the earth has been made to be subservient to you. If you open the Bible, ask and you shall receive, right? You open the Quran, God says, I am how you think of me. He says, I don't change the state of a people until they change what's inside of them. He's like, it's like, God gave you the laws, but you're not applying them consciously. But everything in your reality is an application of it. It's just that it's unconscious. So you're like, damn, God, why you gotta do me like that? God's not doing you like nothing. You're doing you like whatever. God gave you dominion, exactly. So, point is, now you come up with the exact backstories, the exact, like, like, literally script out memories, different memories of, like, I remember when this happened, I remember when that happened, I remember when blah blah. I remember in this reality, oh my God, in this reality, I've always had, like, I grew up with parents who were always financially so abundant. Everything was so easy. My dad, like, he's always been such an abundant person. He's always done this. What if I don't know what my limiting beliefs are? Can I still apply, assuming a certain life or situation is mine and normal? Girl, yes, great question, because it doesn't matter what your limiting beliefs are. Literally, nobody cares. Like, what I want you, your limiting beliefs, whether you have them or you don't, limit them to the reality, to another timeline. Okay. So you just like, you're switching a timeline, and you're becoming, like your current perceptions, assumptions, and everything in between has nothing to do with your parallel reality. Okay? It has nothing to do with it. And you can believe what you want. Like right now, you can be like, Anna, you know what? Purple is my favorite color. And I'm gonna be like, cool. And then you could be like, actually, no, blue is my favorite color. And I'm gonna be like, cool. You have free will. You get to choose. Okay? You could love coffee or not love coffee. That's on you. You could say you're a freaking banana, and I'm not gonna stop you. I'm gonna be like, you do you, bestie. Hell yeah. Bananas. You know what I mean? It's like, it's all up to you. Now, I'm not saying that you will transform into a banana at midnight, but I'm also not saying that you won't. I'm kidding. Point is, okay, so you got to know all these, like your backstory, all right? And you script it all out. And every day you got to commit to the bit. Commit to the bit where every day you are literally rehearsing and remembering what this timeline is. Okay, maybe every day you can remember a different memory from it, because a lot of people, they think that when it comes to visualization and, like, blah blah, they're like, well, I just gotta like visualize my end, and that's when it becomes like a little fun little daydreaming activity, because you're constantly, all you're doing is you're visualizing, you're feeling good, you're coming back, you're feeling shitty. Visualize, oh, I love this, like reality, everything feels so amazing, and then you look at your 3D and you're like, damn, I hate it out here. Like that. No. 2 out of 10, bro. The whole purpose of using mental rehearsal is for you to rehearse yourself into a different timeline. Okay, a different reality, a different identity, because you don't need to be visualizing seeing yourself with $1 million in your bank if you can literally switch into an identity where money has always been just a natural byproduct of your existence. So you actually anchor in memories of times that represent that truth, where it's like, yeah, like that's been the norm for me, that's always been the norm for me. So when those baselines get wired in the nervous system, then you don't gotta visualize $1 million, because your mind clocks that you are very familiar with reality E. You're familiar with reality E. So of course, we're gonna give her reality E because it's normal to her. She's always lived this way. Your cells gotta freaking memorize it. You know them, you're just not aware. Meditate and you'll see them. Exactly, exactly. Like, it is actually so freaking crazy. When you start doing this stuff every day, it starts to feel like, where did that pop up from? Where did that, you start seeing different things in your dreams, things around you start changing. Like, it's very fascinating shit, because repetition makes it real. Okay, repetition makes you memorize it. Okay, now, if you're waiting to believe it when you see it, you'll never see it. Seeing is not believing, believing is seeing. The moment you believe it, the multiverse will bend to serve it to you. Literally, literally. Okay, you gotta know the world has always been rigged in your favor, because you are the consciousness the world is expressed through. And if you are rigged in your favor, so is the world. So now we'll go to an activation. Okay. Now, I don't know if I have the option to pause my camera for a bit over here. Like, this is the first time I'm doing YouTube live stream. Um, I don't think I have the option. I don't think they gave me the right. So we're just gonna truly, like, this is it's not cool, man. All right. Anyways, I guess we'll just go into the meditation then. I'm gonna just drink some water and then let's do it. Let's do it together. Okay. We're all doing a beautiful meditation together. Okay. And this meditation is about you simply shifting into a parallel reality. Okay. Now, to play here, now you might be thinking, well, Anna, I don't know what my parallel world is yet. I haven't thought about it. I haven't planned it to death, Anna. Okay. No worries. Don't worry about it. All we're going to do, okay, is we're going to let that world, let that reality make itself aware to us. What if instead of you choosing and you planning and you picking, just for tonight, when you go catch the replay and you do the meditation again, by all means, go with your notes and go with your, like book of references, but just for tonight, okay? What if you set the intention that God surprised me through this? God, you make my parallel reality apparent to me. And let's all experience some magic together. How does that sound? If you're driving for obvious reasons, please do not um, do the activation. Please sign off and watch the replay. I'm gonna be telling y'all to close your eyes, and you're like, damn. And I'm like, and then next thing you know, don't do that, okay? Let's see. I can share a screen. That's interesting. So if I well, I could have done my audio like that, but honestly, I don't know. All right. Let's start. Wait, if I do what if someone grew up in debt and never had memories of feeling rich? How do memory hop into a memory that never that's that's the whole point. Like that's literally the whole point of like parallel realities is to create new memories. Like literally. Like this has nothing to do with your current timeline. Okay? That can be the story for the timeline that you're currently on, but in a different world that looks similar but is different. You've always had You've always been wealthy. You grew up rich. I find it easier to feel into memories that actually happened than into those that never happened. Yeah, well, of course. No, I didn't say it was going to be easy, babes. Like, who said that? But you get past the, initial discomfort and it begins to feel real. You write down what it would be like, what it would feel like, play with it. Like I need y'all to get this. Like this stuff is fun. If you get serious and uptight about it, you're gonna miss the magic. If you start thinking like, I gotta like, you lost the game, go home. You know what I mean? It's like, um I've had bad things happen to me in the past. I think it has happened because I had beliefs, but if I replace with a new belief, can it happen that my environment changes again, my new belief loses? Bestie, like I need y'all to get this. A parallel reality has its own set of beliefs. It has nothing to do with, so for example, current you with the current reality and the current past and the current everything is version X. Okay. Version X. Okay. Parallel reality is version Z. Literally write that shit on your forehead if you have to, okay? So you can even play this like this, okay? So we'll call this hand X and we'll call this Z. Girl, if you don't want to change, don't change. Like, I'm not, listen, I'm not putting a gun to any of your heads, okay? Choose. This is your parallel reality, your world, your everything, okay? Like, it's yours. Play with it how you want it to be. Change it how you want it to be. Do whatever you want it to be. And for one thing, I will tell you guys. So, for the longest time, I didn't want to shifted to a reality where I did go through so much trauma or whatever, because I used to tell myself the story that, well, my trauma made me who I am. It is the reason I have my purpose. It is la da 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 da. I realized it was so sneaky, right? It's so sneaky because it would be the association with my divorce and my the debts I've seen and the heartbreak and the everything. I'm like, that made me who I am, championing, right? Great, amazing. But at the same time, every time you tell that story, for me, okay, I'm not talking about y'all, but for me, every time I would tell, like, repeat that story of, like, I do this work because I know the pain and blah 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 blah, it also subconsciously kind of like, brings that shit. For me, it would kind of like linger a little bit in my field. So I decided, well, what if I just do this work? In this reality, the reason I do this work is because I freaking love it, because I'm inspired by it, because I just love to see other people rise. I just love to see people win, and that's all. Because I know how magical it is too, because I was born with these things instilled to me, taught to me, and I've always been this close to God, so I get to share this shit with other people and see them. It, like, you know it completely changed my experience for me in the way that I showed up in my work, because it just like, that's just one example for me, okay? But for you, choose what feels right to you. Blah blah. When I work with people one on one, I give them actual feedback, obviously, on, like, everything in terms of the quantum whatever. But right now, we got reality X, we got reality Z, okay? This, what? Okay, wait, this is X. So this, right? Okay, this one, okay, I want you to recognize, on this from this hand, reality X, consider this to be your current reality, okay? Reality Z, consider it to be the parallel world you want to go in. They're two hands, they're very similar, right? But they're different. Hmm? They're similar in the sense they both have five fingers. They're similar in the sense that they both have rings on them, but they're different in the sense that they have different fingerprints, and one is right, one is left. That is what a parallel reality is. Similar, but different. Okay? So your choice, what you get to choose, is what is true in this parallel reality for me and what is not true. What do I no longer want to be true? What am I freaking sick and tired of carrying? Who am I sick and tired of blaming? What is just something that I just want instantly different? Like, that's it. You know what? Whether it's success, whether it's money, whether it's a freaking, G-Wagon, I don't know. But, like, you gotta realize that you have the choice to have it. It's an equal choice to you. The only reason you wouldn't is because you chose not to have it. And a lot of times people hate when I say this shit, because they're like, I didn't choose to not have it. Life has been tough for me. You don't understand. No, I do get it. Truly, I do get it. But everything in reality is a choice. To carry the story that you continue to keep carrying is a choice. To keep believing the same shit that is not getting you anywhere is a choice. To keep thinking shitty thoughts about yourself, about God, about life, about money, about relationships, about your health, about whatever, is a choice. To choose the same story in every moment over and over again is a choice, whether you like to admit it or not. The more you act like you have no choice, the more you've given the world your power. Yes, you tell me who I am. This might sound silly, but I've had this doubt since years now. I ruined my eyesight because of watching a lot of TV and reading lots of ebooks and got glasses in one timeline. Can my eyesight heal naturally? Hell yeah. Because that story, I ruined my eyesight and all of that, is what? Like, that's a choice. It's something that the brain has listened to over and over again. It believes it. Think about, like, the greatest example is what? The placebo effect. The placebo effect. Like, these people get pills, like they get like placebo freaking pills, and they're like, yeah, homie, I'm treated, I'm healed. If the brain can overpower a drug, everything is possible. People have reversed cancer, their tumors, like people have it literally had incredible experiences. Everything is possible because you're not the doer, God is. Everything is on the table with God. Exactly. She's got perfect vision. She could be our next pilot if she wants, Like, is literally like, it's all about what story do you get up and tell yourself. And if you spend more of your time choosing and rehearsing your stories, and then literally, like, for example, if you're a business owner, right? Or whatever, like you have a freelance thing or whatever, right? I swear to you, it is more powerful for you to work for 2 hours a day than to work 20 hours from an aligned state, than to work 20 hours, like believing BS. It is literally, people go like, how do I grow my business? How do I know that you are in a reality where that's always been easy? Rehearse it, live it, live it, live it, live it, live it, and then feel so anchored in it. It feels neutral to you, and then go. You will literally instantly. Action will always be a byproduct of alignment. Action is never forced. Action is never something that you literally sit there and you go like, what action should I take today? That's not it. Literally, like, for example, this live. I couldn't have known in the morning that I was going to do this. I literally spent 80% of my day today chilling in my inner world, in the reality that I know I'm in. Then I watched a movie. I sent like maybe like, a couple, replied to a couple people. I had one meeting. I was like, okay, cool. I feel like doing something fun. All right, let me just get on live and talk to these people because I just love this shit. Action will always just be a byproduct. You're not thinking anymore. The greatest gift in life is to stop thinking. Just be. And when you if you're thinking, to have thoughts that align with the reality you're in. So if you're someone whose mind is, yapping all the time, have literally like conversations with yourself about this reality. So literally throughout the day, in my head, what's going on in my head, if you ask, it's, oh my god, in this reality, I love how I'm literally walking around like, like just knowing this reality deeper. I'm making food, and that's what's going on over here. I'm brushing my teeth, that's what's going on over here. And sometimes not even just here, I will literally talk it out loud. I'll literally talk it out loud. Because you got to know that your reality, you need to know your reality so tight that the world can never have the opportunity to come and tell you what to believe, and it shouldn't. Now, finally, one last time, if there's any questions, I'll take one more if there is. Otherwise, we can finally get to the meditation. I just need a second. Does anyone have any questions on Instagram or on YouTube? Um, you have no power or authority over me unless given from above. Exactly. Like, bro, you're backed by God. No, nothing in the 3D can ever have power or authority over you. It's like you got God riding with you. Hey girl, Good to see you. I love you too, girl. What will be the best step by step? Understanding that God is the creator provider, He is the doer. We watch things unfold, bring our awareness to repetition. Step number one, become aware of your different dimension. Okay. Step number two, have sustain, like create memories that sustain the that reality, as in like that are the add to the foundation of that reality being a normal for you. Backstory. Give your create a character, give that character a backstory, and then like come up with like what are things. Literally, the best thing to do, by the way, is like take things that you're like, I want to have this in the future, and put it in your past, in your parallel world. So like I literally have like pages of pages where I'll be like, oh my god, in 2014 that happened, in 20 this that happened, and that happened. Like it's your world, babes. Like it's your world. Build it how you want it. Like no one's gonna like lightning will not strike you in the head and be like, how dare you think good thoughts about yourself? How dare you leave your misery hole? No one's gonna do that. So it's like, oh no, my phone's however is about to die. So um people on Instagram, I'm going to stop the live. If you want to join the meditation, come through on YouTube. My the link is to my YouTube channel is in the bio. And I love you guys, and I'll catch you on YouTube where I'm going to do the meditation. My phone's about to die. Okay, let's just share this. And then freaking Instagram. Okay, wait. All right. So now, I hope y'all get that your current reality is a reflection of what you've been rehearsing a lot. The future is the one you rehearse now, literally. Okay, now let's start. Let's start. Okay, we've talked for a minute. Let's finally do the meditation. All right. So I want you all to quickly go grab some water. If you want to sit in a comfortable spot, go ahead, do that. If you want to lie down, go ahead, do that. Turn your phones off, put them on airplane mode, have no distractions, and we shall begin in a minute. So I'll give you a minute to like prep yourself. I keep saying I'm rich, but I had to choose. Look, your outer what I would do in a situation like that is that um money for me or cousin how what I would do in a situation like that is I would be like God, I know you're the provider, so like pull up. Literally, like your inner world has got to be so rock solid that you don't like if that experience is happening outside of you, okay, that should not have the power to shake you up internally. Like it has. How dare it tell you anything about yourself? Like if I come and tell you that oh my god, I hate your blue hair, I hate your blue skin, you're gonna be like, girl, I don't have blue skin. What are you on about? Are you crazy? Felt guilty. That's another thing, by the way. Y'all need to drop these emotions. Choosing yourself and then feeling guilty about it is just a conditioned narrative you've picked up. Anyways, if we go down that road, that's gonna be a long one. Now, all right. I want you to go ahead and okay. All right, guys, chat off. Okay, chat off, eyes closed. All right, stop talking in the chat. Bring all your awareness in the present moment. And I want you to go ahead and take a beautiful deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Another deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And I want you to bring all your awareness into here and now. All your attention to this beautiful moment right here, right now. Breathe through your heart and exhale. I want you to bring your awareness to your forehead. Just become aware of the energy and allow it to melt away in this silence, putting your body to sleep. Bring the awareness to your eyes, your eyelids getting heavier, your nose, your jaw, your neck loosening up, melting away any tension. Down your shoulders, your arms, and just all through your body. Let all your energy flood through your body and putting every part of you to sleep. This moment is about going back to the original beginning point, going back to who you really are. See, a lot of times you forget who you really are. You get so dissolved in the character that you're playing, the movie of this character, that you forget you are not your body. You are not your mind. You are not your thoughts. There is someone that has always quietly been watching all along. Someone who has always been aware that there is a mind, aware that there are thoughts, aware that there are eyes, aware that there is a world. Neutrally watching, neutrally aware. And this awareness, whatever it becomes aware of, is what it is able to experience. Whatever awareness becomes aware of is what it experiences. I want you to think of it like a movie. When you play a movie, there could be 500 other movies playing at the same time, but the cinema you choose to sit in, the movie the awareness, the observer chooses to watch, is the one you experience through your senses. Before you came down to this earth, you were simply aware of God, in the presence of God. Before you came down to earth, you were, and you still are, where you were aware that you are whole. Awareness, your true self, is whole. It is conscious of God. It knows its power. It is pure love. That is the starting point. I want you to become aware, as awareness, of God. Who is God? Become aware of this infinite energy, way beyond space and time. This being of light, the unlimited, the doer, the one behind the many, the one who says be and it is, the one who is always making everything go from being hidden to manifest. Every little detail in the entire, all the galaxies, all the seen and the unseen world, everything is through his command. This being who is always there for you, to guide you, to support you, to help you, whose unconditional love is that through which you subsist, this being of light. I want you to become aware of this unlimited power of God, of how it takes a moment of be and it is, and it becomes. And I want you to realize, as awareness, that your job has always been to simply become aware of a timeline, of a reality, of a truth, of anything. And be so aware of it, and so trusting God in it, that you know that it's inevitable because God makes it so. And as awareness, I want you to imagine you're in this space, and all around you are these infinite timelines, these infinite realities. And as awareness, you are a neutral observer of these realities. Each reality has its own past, its own present, its own future, its own stories, its own meanings, its own everything. But as awareness, you have no name, no age, you are formless. You are simply consciousness. Consciousness that is looking at the infinite timelines that it can collapse by choosing any reality in this moment. And as you look at these infinite realities, I want you to set the intention. Dear God, make my highest, my easiest, my most fulfilling, enthusiastic, most joyful, most adventurous, most loving, most lucky, most everything timeline apparent to me. From all these infinite realities, dear God, make that one glow in front of me and guide me to that reality. And as consciousness, you feel flooded by this light, by this awareness that almost awakens you, that almost pulls you towards one timeline out of the infinite that begins to glow, glow in a way that you've never seen anything glow before. And the more you hear my voice, the deeper in this awareness you go, way beyond space and time. And you notice this one timeline, and you notice it glow and glow. And as awareness, you then begin to travel into that and drop inside that world. And you feel these chills down your physical body. You know that awareness just became aware of a different parallel reality. And with your closed eyes, as awareness, you begin to look around. You begin to notice. Notice that the body in this reality feels different. Notice that the smile in this reality hits different. Notice that everything may look a little similar, but in this reality, there are so many things that have always been different. In this reality, maybe you grew up in insane abundance and you always saw wealth all around you to be so normal. You have always been so successful. Some of the dreams that a different reality version of you had have always, for you in this reality, been there, done that. You notice what are truths about this reality. What are truths that is the reason why God made this your highest, your sexiest, your easiest timeline. And I want you to just simply melt into this awareness of becoming aware and deeper aware of what is just a knowing for you here. What is just a Tuesday? Ask God to show you different memories from this timeline, to show you what it's always been like here. Feel the spaciousness through your body expand. And now, all I want you to do is I want you to set the intention to collapse your awareness and this timeline with your physical body and being in this moment. I want you to imagine this beautiful white light pouring down from the sky, drenching and dripping your physical body, every cell in your body, in this beautiful white light. And this white light, its purpose is that it cleanses your cells and it literally installs the codes of this reality, the memories of this reality into your body and being. And I want you to allow God to flood you with this light. Your hands, your fingers, your arms, your neck, your eyes, your brain, your nose, your jaw, even your mouth, your chest, your back, your lower, your upper, all parts of you. I want you to feel this light. Feel God's light. Feel it flood you, feel it cleanse you, feel it normalize this charge in you. Feel it give your nervous system a real time upgrade. Feel it sink so deep in you that every inch of you knows that this is the only reality. Lose yourself in the silence. Let God speak to you. Now, set the intention. Put your hand on your heart and breathe deep into your heart. And set the intention, dear God, thank you for making it so effortless for me to literally just switch up into a new parallel reality, for making this reality so magical and so normal at the same time. Dear God, thank you for making this journey so effortless. Thank you for all the ways you've always blessed me and continue to bless me. Thank you. Thank you for all the wonderful ways that I am aware of my life and my truth and all the blessings of yours in the seen and the unseen, for the abundance, for the love, for the success, for the joy, for everything in between, for the ways that I continue to win and I keep winning, for the ways that you have made me one of the most smartest, iconic, legendary, brilliant, smart people alive, for the way that you have made my heart a literal vessel for your love. Thank you for the love that I am, the love that I share. Thank you for the enthusiasm that I live with. Thank you for all the ways that you have blessed me, that I know and I don't know. And I thank you for all the ways you continue to surprise me and illuminate me, and you make my life a mystery and a masterpiece. And you can go ahead and thank him for specific things that are just baseline factual truths about your reality. Because when we are grateful, that is the highest form of receivership. Set the intention that, dear God, when I open my eyes, I know that I'm opening it now in a whole different parallel reality. So show me, and keep me anchored in this. Thank you. I love you. And then, whenever you feel ready, you can open your eyes and into a whole new world. In a whole new world. And just thank God. Go journal, go write down, get to know this you in this timeline. Who is this different version? What is their life like? What is their vibe like? What is everything? Get to know it. Love it. I love you guys. And this was super fun. Okay. You can catch the replay whenever you want. It'll be live on YouTube. And I will see you next time. If you have any questions, you can comment them or you can just send me an email, annaplanet@gmail.com. Bye bye. Love you too, girl. How do you end this stuff? Okay.